morning, everyone. Thank you so much to Stephanie and Sandu EMP for having us. And I see a lot of friendly membership faces, so I think that's awesome. Thank you so much for being here. And so what I wanted to talk about today was Membership 2.0 with my Prezi here, and thank you to Raj for leading in. And the purpose of my presentation is to explain what our goals were for using technology and how we were able to use Ruby and really be a case study for them. So the reason that I titled the presentation Membership 2.0 is because we all have a general idea of what traditional membership is for museums, which is you sign up, you become a member for a year, and you get invited to receptions, events, you get unlimited gallery access, guest passes, discounts, and the way that technology is used for that most of the time now is you can renew online, you'll get e-newsletters, you can use the website, but really taking it to that next step. And 2.0 really comes in where the goals that we accomplished from looking at what we wanted to change about our membership and how members interact with each other, this is taking it to that next level. So the future is here. I think the other presenters have really done a great job about explaining what that is. Everything from how technology is used in the galleries to different parts of your experience as a museum visitor. And expectations, I wanted to touch on one of the best analogies that I've heard recently, which is museums should be looking at their visitors and members like libraries are looking to users, because visitors and members are users in the museum exhibitions, the collections, and staff as resources. So how do you tailor that experience to them as a user where they're able to really fuse and become that community that we all think of when we think of members as important stakeholders in the museum? And with especially Rachel's touch on how most of us in the room who are classified as millennials, including myself, we give. We may not be the major donors, but we are giving, and looking at how are we doing that and how can we tailor as a museum the ability to do that, and expectations of a user to everything from how you become a member to how you go up the pipeline and how you're interacting with the museum within your own network. And one of the marketing mantras that I love is to inform, delight, and sway, for us meaning engaging, and to have a platform that goes beyond social media, that really becomes a more active way of membership rather than passive. Accessibility and inclusivity, which Raj had touched on in his presentation, I wanted to touch on what it means to us at MOPA, because it's been at the heart of what we've been trying to do, which is a few of our initiatives to really bring that to the forefront. And so accessibility to us means being able to look at our demographics, who's visiting, who is our audience, what is the most represented group, and then looking at who is not well represented, and what are the barriers to that. And I think within diversity, looking at, are we representing 50% of millennials that make up the population within our membership, which I can tell you most of the places would probably be a no. So what is preventing the younger generations from coming in, from signing up as a member, and really being that engaging community that we think of them as? And so with our Pay What You Wish admissions, which launched in March, we had a grant-funded program that made us being able to essentially ask our visitors to come in and tell us what they want to pay. So each Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday from March 18th to August 28th, we are inviting people in. And that's really a point of accessibility, to be able to do that and have this conversation about why we're wanting to do it, why we want them to come in, and inclusivity where we're saying you're welcome here. We want you to be here. Please join us. The next one is our crew membership, which was something that after spending a lot of time on research, especially for diversity and younger users, looking at the things that are popular, which right now subscription-based models are very popular, and I think a lot of people understand what Netflix and Hulu do for small payments each month, and being able to take that idea and provide it to philanthropy. So for our crew membership, it is a $5 monthly membership and interest-based. So you opt into either the photography or the film crew for now, or you could do both for $8 a month. And the heart of it is really to be able to interact with other crew members in a way that traditional membership hasn't been able to in its passive form. And with that being very hands-on, interactive, and providing them more opportunities to really engage with each other and engage with us in a different way than the other membership does. And with that is the online component of using Ruby platform. Why we wanted to use Ruby, and one of the things that Jason had touched upon in his presentation was looking at what the goals are and what your challenges are, and using technology to fit that. And so we had really already come up with the goal of wanting to put up various content that we see all the time as museum employees that maybe the average member or user would be really interested in, but we're not necessarily putting it out there for them. So using that content curation to create a conversation and make that community was very important to us. And we wanted to use crew as a test audience, and we have a lot of ideas about where this could go in the future. But to foster that community and expression was important to me because I've heard so many members the past few years that I've been at MOPA say that they wanted to be able to share their work, whether that's photography or local filmmakers, to really put that out and start a dialogue with that. And the capabilities that Ruby has goes beyond what our website and what social media can do. This is a wonderful user journey that we wanted to be able to visually show what we wanted each user to go through. So we have everything from awareness to how they hear about us, to being able to sign up and being invited, which is key. I think you really need to take that step to personally invite people, to connecting through Ruby pods, and then going up the pipeline, essentially. And so we have an example here of how Claire hears about Ruby from a Facebook ad and signs up for the membership, using social media that connects to Ruby because we want them to be able to flow with one another. And to being able to start to use the pods in a way that gets her to use photography for one of the contests that Taraj mentioned, and then saying, you know, this is a really great experience. I want to do the $25 student membership. And for us in development, that's really the goal of moving people into a pipeline, because this is someone obviously who's very tech savvy and may not be that major donor, but she wants to be able to share her work, to interact with us in a different way, and we can still have her move through as a donor. So the next thing I would like to show is how we're actually using Ruby. Okay. So this is our account page, and you can see that we have a few different pods, and we wanted to create one for different levels of membership. And as Traj mentioned, we wanted to be able to have certain restricted access, because when you sign up for the $5 monthly membership, you get into these different pods depending on what you're interested in. And then we have a few that are open, that are for the public and for our other members. Within each pod, we're able to have various folders and be able to explain the different areas that we're asking them to do different things at. So for example, we have the it's actually reused content that was originally uploaded through YouTube that we then present as what our museum's take on different exhibitions and curatorial insight is. And as I mentioned, this is brand new, taking off, but we really wanted to share why we're looking to technology and why it's important to get those younger members, especially the ones that are tech savvy and this is their life, photography, film, video, to be able to have a forum that they can share and really spark that conversation with other members. And so each member has their own profile, and they will begin to interact with us in different ways.